let it go to Germany now. There used to be this called Chemnitz, and then it got comprehensively flattened by the American Air Force in the Second World War. I find that very interesting. You know, like me and Mees were talking about like why is it people don't stand up and consider themselves human beings first and what they're brought up to be second? Like some people go, well, why is there no more criticism of ISIS from people who are Muslims? Why the people who are Jewish don't criticise Israel more? And I go, well, yeah, but like 70 years ago, the RAF flattened a place called Dresden. And just because the BBC dared to say this is a bit of a bad thing to do, the front page of the Daily Mail is like outraged that we dare criticise what was essentially a war crime. Like Dresden had fuck all in it of any importance other than refugees. But because Bomber Harris had lost his son, because Winston Churchill was just a cruel, mean-minded bastard, they sent all these bombers over there on a mission that was nothing was going to stop them, and they knew they were going to create a firestorm because they'd done it once in Hamburg by accident, and they did it to Dresden just because they could. And because someone dared mention this, there's all kind of outrage. We can't mustn't criticise our boys when we do something wrong. Anyway, so the same thing kind of happened to Chemnitz without necessarily the firestorm. So when they rebuilt it, it looked rather like Harlow in Essex. Staggeringly like Harlow in Essex. And they thought, well, because this was the workers' paradise, the DDR, well, we must do something about that. We must make it clear that it's not Harlow you're living in the Western... We're going to call it Karl Marxstadt. After Karl Marx. And in the middle of it, they put this enormous head of Karl Marx, great statue, cogitating on his dialectics, so you knew you were in the DDR, the workers' paradise. And, that's good. And then, of course, history ended. And people of Karl Marxstadt realised they woke up and they found themselves living in Chemnitz again. And those ungrateful tankies, they wouldn't let anybody take Karl Marx's head away, so it's still there. And I first visited it just after the kind of wall had come down, and there was a very respectful kind of Stasi-influenced space around Karl, just in case they were still watching. And but the last time I went there were all these kids on skateboards whizzing around Karl, and I thought, well, that just goes to show maybe Karl Marx still had his own skateboard. Maybe Karl Marx has got a skateboard these days. 1, 2, 1, 2. On his skateboard, Karl Marx is in mid-air with a shade of Barra t-shirt and those dreadlocks in his hair. Karl Marx is on his mobile and he Facebooks and he tweets with his heart to Trotsky truing and those Converse on his feet. And I say, hey, what else can you do? I still got the Karl Marx City Blues. And hey, what else can you do? I still got the Karl Marx City Blues. Karl Marx was on the demo. Karl Marx was in the crowd. But when they asked him to the party, Karl Marx just laughed out loud. Karl Marx has gone electric behind the beard, the bloke. building, Karl Marx still rocks all night. And he used to live in Chemnitz, just like a rolling stone. But his band is like velvet, it goes